Hold on, I'll come in.
This is Lee barely training. What the Welcome back to Renegade Muscle. I'm Geoff Roberts, and I'm here as always with Lee Priest. He has his brand new Trump Punisher America flag. It's pretty sick. What are you doing there, Lee?
He's
got his vibrator out.
I was just massaging.
You're going front door with the vibrator?
I was just massaging.
Okay.
I've been smoking. Don't smoke. You Brenner, don't smoke. Remember that commercial? Probably you wouldn't remember that.
No, I remember. Absolutely.
Yul Brenner.
Yeah.
People are like, who's Yul Brenner? He's originally from the original Westworld and The King and I and all those movies.
Yeah.
The Magnificent Seven.
I just watched my wife and
Bambi?
Back to the Future. The Back to the Futures.
Oh my God.
It's a great movie, Lee.
That's fucking shit.
It's iconic.
Yeah, back in fucking 72. I couldn't even I see the commercials. Oh, great Caesar's ghost. Great Scott.
Great Scott. Yeah, but it's it's a shit movie. It's old, but it's nostalgic. It's fun.
What's for tomorrow's viewing? Teen Wolf?
No, fucking the Back to the Future 3.
Oh. Yeah. Didn't one of them get... What was the shitty one where they went into the West? What was that one?
That's 3.
Was that? Is it?
That's 3, yeah.
They maybe should have stopped at 2.
Yeah.
Was the hoverboard number 2, was it? Or
the hoverboard was number 2, yeah. Yeah. See, you're fucking... You know everything about it. See
it is. It's beautiful. You're very international. Look, that's where I am. How far am I from you, Geoff? I'm all the way over there. There we go. Look at that.
Yeah, there we go.
Is that proving that the Earth is flat because you got it on the wall or what?
Yeah, look. If it was round, it couldn't go on the wall.
Exactly.
That's what Kyrie Irving says. Has to be true. So we were talking about before.
Oh, did you see on my wall? Did you see on my wall?
Oh, it's sick.
Look at that.
Look at that.
The Punisher skull with
the
American...
turn your camera up just a little bit. Right there. That's good.
There you go. Look at that.
Look at that.
The Punisher skull, American flag, and Donald Trump's hair. Doesn't get much better than that.
Where did you get that?
Look at this. This is how I look with Donald Trump's hair. Hello.
Screenshot.
Make America great again. I got it off my mate.
Oh, that's awesome.
On my Instagram page, J Diamond.
That is so cool.
Look at that.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's got to be the backdrop from now on.
I'll bring it down a bit now so you can see me. Unless you just want to stare at the flag and piss people off all day.
No, this is better. I mean, you could still see the whole thing. Don't worry. But
good.
Yeah, before we got on, we were talking about that. Apparently,
you sent me that link. Yeah.
Yeah, this Chris Cuomo guy, who's some newscaster who works out, and he made a video of him toying with a fake 100-pound dumbbell, and then Joe Rogan comes out and says that he thinks it's real because he thinks that for some reason Joe Rogan feels that Italians are sometimes really strong, which is okay. I compete in strength sports and I have for 15 years, and I've never seen that's not a thing.
There's no effort. He's just like this. He's just talking to the girl, and then he's doing this with it like a hammer curl.
Yeah.
And then he stops to talk to her. As he just stops, he just holds it here like a cup of coffee. Yeah.
No grimacing at all.
No, you don't hold 100-pound dumbbell like this while you're talking like a cup. You'd be like,
no way. No
that's
freaking
fake.
way.
As fake as my strict curls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my strict curls were half and half. Yeah, my half and half. Well, my first video I ever sent to Nick, I had a 5 kilo each side, but now I've upped it to a bit heavier. But it took people forever. Even Kenny KO had to do a whole fucking thing about discovering if they were fake or not, when you could have just looked at Sam's fitness videos I've done over the last 6 months where I'm using 2 of the big fake plates. Yeah, it's like, it wasn't hard. It'd be almost like if you're going to, if there was a body laying on the floor with a knife stuck in its back, right? The knife's wedged in the back of the body on the floor, and Kenny KO goes, let's look for the murder weapon. I wonder what did it. Would it be that knife?
Who is Kenny KO again? I don't follow these guys. Like, is he the guy who like goes and tries to bust people?
Yeah, calls people out. Yeah, that's him.
You follow that guy?
Fuck no, someone brought to my attention.
He seems like a clown.
The last time I saw Kenny KO was on that Generation Iron thing where Dr. Tony Hughes got a few of those guys together, and in 2 weeks, Geoff, roughly, Kenny KO put on 28 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, of course.
So maybe he should call himself out for that fucking bullshit.
There was a part in Fouad's show back when he did the show with Luke, and they were talking about. Luke said at one point, it looks like at one point in the video, the guy says that you have to use steroids to look like me, and Luke's like, mate, I look like you before I started lifting.
Exactly.
It's probably true. Like he's a real fucking bodybuilder with like who's like you. Tony Huge could. I look
better than Tony before he even touched the gear. And his whole idea is he wants to take more gear and do less work, so you only have to train 1 day a week. And he's like, you can actually change your DNA, he says. Really? That's like, what the fuck? And then did you see that video where he did it with him? And they had that Team Zeke or whatever and all this sort of shit. That one guy, after a couple of days, he couldn't even train because of all the injections into his shoulders. His shoulders were that sore, he couldn't even fucking train. Then he was too hot and he couldn't eat. And then they're sitting in the restaurant taking their fucking shots and their insulin in the fucking restaurant and shit. I feel like I'm up pretty. I might have to cut the flag off a little bit. I have to lower it down.
That's better. That's better.
And you still sort of see it anyway. But
we got the look. Do you ever, Lee? How familiar are you with Joe Rogan? Do you ever watch Joe Rogan?
Yeah, I watch his pod. If there's someone interesting on there, I'll watch it. Yeah, the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a few since he's gone to Spotify. I heard a few of the little snowflakes on Spotify. Yeah. Trying to get him banned now.
He's already been. Apparently, he's already been censored. Like one of the things, I don't know. I feel like I like to show a lot, but I don't think it's what it used to be necessarily. Like sometimes he seems to be holding back a little bit now. Like he like catches himself before he says retard. That fucking annoys me. Like just say it. You'd say it with your buddies because nobody's fucking offended by it. People pretend, but like, I mean.
And what gets me is too, why not say retard? People say you got to say special. There is nothing special about a retard. You're retarded. Special is like if you do something nice for someone, or you bring them some flowers, or you do something nice, you say, wow, that's very special. That's what special is. Having a retarded person is not special. And trust me, if you're sitting there and you're normal and you got a retarded person, like full on, like, fucking full retard, never go full retard, but if they're full retard and I say the word retard, guess what? They don't understand what I'm saying. It's all right. Yeah. If I say, man, your kid's retarded, he's still going to be sitting there going, duh. It's like, he's not going to know what the fuck I just said. So get over it. He's not upset, so why should you be? Shouldn't have had to retard a kid when the doctor comes back and says, we just looked at your ultrasound. Looking at your ultrasound, your kid's got 2 legs that are stuck together. He's going to be a bit brain damaged. What do you want to do? I want to have the baby so I can love him forever. Well, it's your choice. You had it. You should have aborted, okay?
He's got 2 legs that are stuck together.
You should have aborted. You should have fucking, abort. No, you wanted to go through with it, and now you've got it. So you can put photos on Instagram, #world's best parents taking care of our kid in the wheelchair. Yeah. # send me money so we can go to Disneyland, make a wish.
Nobody's saying it's okay to as Michael Scott said, you don't call retarded people retards. You call your friends retards when they're acting retarded.
Exactly. It's like back in the day you'd say, stop being, what'd you say, like, stop acting like a bitch or something. Some people get upset by that, Well, what are you saying like a bitch is? Or, stop being a fag or stop acting gay. It's like, you're talking about someone who's really, when you say stop acting gay, it's those ones that are, hi, darling, hi. So if you've got a friend that's at carrying on, they say, stop acting gay, you fuckwit. That doesn't mean you hate gay people. You're not being malicious towards gay people. I'm sure they say to their friends, stop acting fucking straight, you dickhead. You're acting like a straight bastard, so knock it off.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. So like, it's like, when did we stop just laughing at each other? It's like, who cares? It's like you tell a joke and someone's like, "Oh, is that joke directed at me? How can it be directed at you? I don't fucking know you, so it's got nothing to do with you." So if I'm saying to you, Geoff, "Hey Geoff, what's 12 inches long and makes women scream?"
Bo Lewis's cock.
No, crib death. Okay, now look.
yeah.
Exactly, or SID syndrome, whatever it is, sudden infant death syndrome, when the kid dies in its sleep. Okay, now I'm not saying that there's someone that's had a kid that died in its sleep. If you're offended, hey, that's your problem. But I'm just making a joke. What's 12 inches? I'll make a scream. Okay, that's what about the size of a kid, 12 inches. And they do all these studies on
people try to get offended too. They almost hear something you didn't say. Like if you say Lee's a better bodybuilder than Sean Roden, people will be like, Sean Roden's not a bad bodybuilder. It's like, well, that's not what I said. Stuff like that. Like people will because you say something like not positive, they think.
I've always had that done to me. I've had people ask me before about, Lee, what do you think of Australian bodybuilders and this and that? Who do you think's the next up and coming from Australia? And I'd say, well, at the moment there is none. I said, look, we've got a lot of great bodybuilders in Australia who, for Australia, are great. But if you're going to take the best we have right now in Australia and put them against the best in the world on the pro stage, they're not that good. Oh, you're just being fucking negative, you has been, just because you're washed up now, blah, blah, blah. I say, I'm being fucking honest. You can take the guy in Australia right now and put him in the pro lineup. He won't get a fucking call out. It's that simple. I'm being honest. I'm not being negative or anything. I'm just telling you the truth. That's how it is. But, I remember, even though going back to Nick's strength, he did a video a couple of weeks ago just saying how he thought Chris Bumstead would win the Olympia thing. He just fought over Brion. He looked better or whatever. So I think it was Brion, isn't it? And Brion did this whole fucking video attacking Nick for like half an hour, just ripping into him. What do you know? You're not into this. You should. It's like, that's just his fucking opinion, thinking that he thinks Chris Bumstead's physique's better than his. He still said
it's not exactly a far stretch. Like they're 1 and 2. Look.
Yeah, and it's like, but he's not saying Brion's bad, but he just prefers Chris's physique, saying he thinks he'll win the Olympia. Then you should shut your mouth because you're not a bodybuilder. You're just a reporter. Blah blah. Thinking, well, half the people that report on sports aren't fucking pro footballers or baseballers or fucking writing the magazines.
Well, yeah, most of them were or like are like they partake in that sport and they love that sport, but they just don't have the gifts. Like if you're sick, if you're 5'11" and you're white, there's about a 1 in a billion chance that you're going to be in the NBA, but you can be a good commentator. Like, it's a little bit annoying to me.
Go and buy this rule. You shouldn't. You should just shut your mouth.
Yeah. Because a lot of guys who compete like to say, you can't say anything about bodybuilding if you've never competed. It's like, so you're saying that I can't say anything about bodybuilding unless I get on stage and get my ass kicked because I have wide hips and narrow shoulders and I gain fat easily. So I need to go get my ass kicked 3 times and now I know about bodybuilding. Like, I get what you're saying, but it's like, that's not really true. Like, you could be obsessed with bodybuilding your whole life, every single aspect of it, but you don't get on stage. It doesn't mean you don't know what you're talking about necessarily.
And these are probably the same cunts that sit at home in front of the TV when the NFL is on, screaming at the TV, screaming at the quarterback and all the other players. Yeah. You dipshit, do this, do that. Never played a game in their fucking life, but they're sitting at home telling the guy on the TV how to play the game. So you shut up too then.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's something that's always bothered me as someone who like is really into bodybuilding. It's like, just because I haven't got on stage is like I'm missing that experience, which is annoying, but it's not feasible. Well, I have health issues that make it like it would be a poor decision. But if you still love the sport and you follow the sport, you read up on the sport, lifestyle.
Yeah, you live the lifestyle, you read magazines, you watch videos, you're still allowed to have an opinion on it, and an opinion on whose physique you like compared to somebody else's or something like that. It's, it's
right.
Bloody hell.
Right.
I don't like this cake. You're not a fucking chef. Why don't you just shut your fucking mouth? You've never made a fucking moist chocolate cake before. So if you've never made a moist chocolate cake, you can't tell me this cake doesn't taste good. Shut the fuck up. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. It's true. I mean, you just have to you just got to give people a chance to say what they're going to say. And some people are not going to know what they're talking about. And some people are going to be a little bit more reasonable with what they say. It is what it is. Well,
I don't get too, if they're just giving you an opinion on a different physique, because somebody used to like the Dorian freaky physique, some like the Flex Wheeler symmetrical physique, and this and that. So people have opinions. But what gets me is you're in bodybuilding. You're judged on your look. You're judged on your body. You're judged on everything like that. So why do these big muscular men carry on like little bitches? Let's upset them when someone just gives a fucking opinion. If you can't handle someone's opinion in this sport, get the fuck out of it. This sport ain't for you because that's all people are going to do. Even when you look your best, trust me, people are going to say you look shit. It's like if they don't like you, you can be your best condition ever. I think he was shit. He needs to bring this up. He needs to bring that up. I used to get a lot of time, and then when I look at the person saying it, like I said, it looks like they're in fucking stage 4 chemotherapy. I'm like, here you are telling me I need to get bigger arms and how I should train. I look at you, and it's like, no. You've never been to a gym a day in your life, but they get so upset by these people's opinions. I'm like, who cares? It's like when people put shit up on Facebook or Instagram, everyone thinks they've got to comment on it. It's like, oh, I must comment. No, you don't. You can read it. If you don't like it, here's what you do next. Just take your thumb and scroll past it and go to the next one. No, I've got to fucking have my say. No, you don't have to have your say. Just keep fucking scrolling. Yeah. That's why sometimes now I delete comments and it fucking makes them so mad. Or I'll just turn the commenting off, and then they'll post under another picture that has nothing to do with the other picture, and they'll comment there, and I just go, delete. And they say, Lee, why'd you delete my last comment? I don't even reply. Delete. Yeah. It annoys them even more. Just
some people, I've had that happen. Like some people say stuff that's so like erroneous that it doesn't even, all you can do is delete the comment, because you're like, well, if I try to say, this person, the statement is so like out of left field and like just fucked that
it's not even worth
it. If you answer, you're just gonna get more of that like complete nonsense. Like it's not worth it. You just got to get rid of them. And then someone else might see it and they start going in, and the person is just based on their first comment. It's like, Come on.
And then you come back like an hour or two later and there's fucking 15, 20 comments of other people arguing. I'm just like, I just removed the first comment. Then they're all gone. Then they're like, what happened to that comment? I'm like, I'm not even going to reply.
Right.
That's funny.
Well, on the topic of fake weights and this guy using a fake weight, which I don't think he was trying to act like it was a real weight. It looked so
he wasn't.
Like, no, he was joking. Like Joe Rogan is so like he doesn't.
Well, it sounded
Joe
like
Rogan isn't a weightlifter or a bodybuilder or a powerlifter. He doesn't. I mean, Joe Rogan's probably like, people fucking worship Joe Rogan. They're gonna be so mad that I'm not going. Like if you do anything but to Joe Rogan, people are like. But like,
no, he's good.
I mean, Joe Rogan has the best podcast of all time, but like, he doesn't know about everything. Like,
no. Even I think when the woman says, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just preparing, getting in shape or something for my show or something." And you can just tell he's smiling and while he's pressing it. You can tell it wasn't like meant to be like. If he wanted to fake it, you would have been like struggling a bit. But you could tell it was fake to begin with. He should send Joe that weight. He should send Joe Rogan that weight. So even if you're strong, like, I could press 180s back in the day for shoulders, but even if I had 100, it wouldn't be that easy. It'd still have a bit of effort behind it, and then I wouldn't just stop and hold it.
And there's no counterweight over here.
No, it's not like balancing himself to go against it.
Yeah,
and then
you have to be like
just to sit there. Then he goes, "What are you doing?" And then he just turns it, like I said, like a coffee cup, and he holds it in that position. Yeah, I would have gone.
Yeah. And the way he was pressing it, he wasn't even pressing it like, if you're from the side and you're pressing a dumbbell, it's going to be back here.
Yeah.
He was like this, like out where you would never be able to hold the dumbbell that heavy.
And then then to go from there just down into a hammer and hold it there.
Yeah, with a big smile on your face.
Then he did something like a little. Then he do something like a little not preacher curl, but
went like
concentration.
This. He's just sitting there going like this with a 100-pound dumbbell. Come on, Brian Shaw could do that at 440 pounds.
Exactly, but even then you'd see a bit of effort.
Yeah, even then you would. Even then. All right. Yeah. Listener questions?
Yeah.
Our buddy's back. PDS Printing.
There's a couple on my Insta too that I answered one online, but you can ask me again. I can't remember what it was, but I was thinking you could ask me again because I think you even commented on after it or something.
Yeah. This one, one person said, what did one person say? Well, one guy was like, it's so disappointing that you covered your arms with those tattoos and you can't see them. You go, that's funny. The judges at the Universe could see through them, and I won. Yeah.
Why'd you cover your arms with those tattoos and that now you can't see the muscle and this and that? Well, hey, I had all those tattoos and I won the overall Mr. Universe, so I guess the judges have better eyesight than him.
And Stevie Wonder could see that you won that show too.
Mm.
That was a good look. PDS Printing, our favorite place for printing, all our printing needs. Do you just train instinctively now, Lee? One body part per day, 3 to 4 exercises, 5 sets, etc.
Yeah, pretty much. I train instinctively when I train. I go to the gym with training in mind. Sometimes it's just cardio, or sometimes it's just whatever my body allows me to do on that given day. So I just, and even sets now, I still probably do. I normally go by time sometimes. So I'm normally there an hour and a half, 2 hours, but I just try and do what I can. I could start off thinking I'm going to do chest, and then I start off maybe with dumbbell presses. It's not too bad, but when I go to my second exercise, and now all of a sudden, because of my neck, I'm like, fuck, it's hurting. So I'll go start triceps. I just go pick something else. I'm like, that's not too bad. And then the next day I might go to do back, and after a couple of sets of back, if it starts hurting, I'll go do hamstring. So you can pretty much say it's instinctive. I just go train whatever's not hurting or affecting it. Or if something does start hurting, rather than keep irritating it, I just go pick another body part.
Yeah.
As long as
so you don't have a split.
More about now, it's more maintenance or maintaining what little I have, and then just keeping the blood flowing more than anything, and then just stuff like that.
Yeah. What's your leg training like? Can you go balls out on legs still? You can't load your back probably, but.
I can if I want to, but then I just figure why. But I normally, like the other day I did legs, I just did extensions, supersetted with like the hack sled thing, and I had like probably 6 plates on the hack thing and about bit of weight on the extension, but nothing crazy, but just to get like maybe 15 reps on one, then go straight to the other and superset. So probably do higher reps more than going flat out. If I did try and squat, I wouldn't go over 3 plates, but maybe just do sets of 20. So stuff like that. I can go heavy if I wanted, but then I'm just thinking, why bother? And then, if the knee starts hurting or something, like, just ease it up. Because I can get a great pump and get, a good leg workout by supersetting with something, or even just going that bit lighter and just doing the higher reps rather than pounding all the weight on. Because then I always think too, once I've loaded the leg press up at the end of it, I'm like, oh shit, now I've got to unload all this crap. So
I know. That's the worst thing about leg press.
If I went on leg press now, or going back a few months, I probably wouldn't go over 10 plates a side. I'd stick around 7, 8, and then just do sets of maybe 20 to 30 reps on the 7 to 8 plates a side. Just keeping that constant tension on it without locking out.
Yeah. That's a lot of weight. I'm sure your legs are still like big.
Yeah, they still help me walk.
Yeah. You had massive legs. Very it's funny how much you're known for your arms, and like your legs were almost as good as your arms. Like your hamstrings were like like very few people had like bicep hamstrings like you did.
Mine always hung down, I said it, but overall too, like I had the quad, had the hamstring, and I had the calves, so it wasn't like I was lacking anything. But emphasis was always put on the arms, but occasionally a leg picture will pop up, even that one from Arnold's Encyclopedia with the atomic shoes on, and people are like, oh my God, I didn't realize you had such great legs. It's like, You know,
all the way around too. Like nothing
how's
was.
How's this comment? I always used to like when the people go, "Oh, that Lee Priest, he's fucking short. He's short." Have you seen too? He's got short legs. Well, well, that's probably why I'm short.
Yeah.
No,
And then Paul Dillette is tall and he has long legs. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? It's like, woof.
Fucking revelation.
I know. I actually have a longer torso because I actually have friends that are tall. This is the funny thing. I have friends that are tall, but because my torso is long, say I'm like 5'5", they could be like 5'9", 5'10". But when we sit in the car, my head's the same height or on the roof. And they're like, how's your head near the roof of the car? And I said, from the waist up, I'm the same height, but from the legs, it's the shorter legs. So
yeah.
They're like, well, you want your head touching the roof, and I'm taller than you.
Yeah, my training partner has shorter legs and a longer torso, and I have very long legs and a very short torso. So we'll do like, if we do something that's standing, like if we're doing squats, like I need the rack higher than he does. But if we're doing something that's seated, he is taller than me when we're seated, when we're just sitting, because my legs make up so much of my height, you know? You know who's like that? You know, you've seen the pictures of Nick Walker. Yeah. The new pro. He has that too. He has a very long torso, short legs, and short arms. And his arms and legs are just fucking jacked. They're so big and nasty. He has like a bigger, more like rugged version of your physique, kind of. He has those shorter limbs that are just like blown out. Obviously, he doesn't have the same, like, he's not put together the same, but he has that look too.
He's doing the Olympia, isn't he?
I think he's doing a show before the Olympia. Chicago? Is Chicago coming up? I think Chicago is.
Yeah, because I know Fouad just pulled out of it. I saw a video.
He did?
Yeah, he said that, which is funny because it's a shame because I know before.
Yeah, that's a shame. I didn't know.
When you've watched some of his videos, he's always talked about gear use and stuff and what he does and stuff like that. Because not that I'm an expert on stuff, but yeah, he said he went and I saw a video yesterday. It's only a quick one. He sort of got upset on it, saying that he gets his blood work done and his blood work come back and we've only 2 weeks to go, saying, the last 2 weeks are hard on the body anyway. He won't be able to do it because his health comes first and stuff like that. But to me, it's like, Fouad to me seems like he's strong mentally and he can train hard. Those last 2 weeks, like the last week and a half, I didn't take any gear. I come off it all because I'm like, I think I still took a bit of Nolvadex and then like a mild diuretic a couple of days before, just half a one to pull water out. But to that point, I wasn't taking any shots because I'm thinking a week and a half out for one, I don't want to have a shot, then fucking have a bad shot where it gets all red and inflamed and, then it fucking carries water in that area where you had a shot or something like that. So to me, even if Enivar is pretty mild, but, those last 2 weeks, I reckon he could have easily got through it without any. Maybe
it's he has kidney, like it's a kidney thing, I'm sure, because listening to his podcast, he has it's probably kidney related, but I'm assuming, but in that case, the drying out process might be because he's a conditioning guy. Like he wins on conditioning.
Drying out though, you don't have to go completely. I know some guys go to extreme, but even water wise, you could just vary your water and just, I still think the most I went down the day before a show, I was still having about a liter and a half, but I'll just take a sip here in the beginning of the day, a sip here, a sip there. So I'd still have a little bit of water and never cut it out completely. But then, but it's just a shame to see him go through all that hard work training and dieting. And, his face was looking drawn and some of the videos
he was honestly, but when he first was talking about it, I'm like, ugh. Like he doesn't look like he's going to be, I was thinking like he's wishful thinking he's going to stand with these guys. And then he starts putting out the pictures and I'm like, holy shit. He actually looks like he looked pretty fucking good. He could have been competitive.
Because we don't know what it is, but to me, I would have been like, okay, put it out there. I'm not doing it. But then the next 2 weeks, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to stick to my diet, stick to my cardio. If I have to switch over to natural supplements of any type, I'll take them, whatever. But I'm going to stick to my cardio, stick to my diet, even if I have to adjust my diet a little bit And let's just say, okay, you might have lost a little tiny bit of muscle, but maybe you got a bit harder. As we said, the illusion on stage, coming in harder, you're going to look bigger. But I would have stuck to everything, even if you had to come off all the gear. Just keep going, then go, you know what? A few days out, you know what? I still look pretty fucking good. I'm going to do the show, you know? And I think a lot of time, too, when you get so bent on contest prep over the years and you've done it for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and you have done it a certain way using certain substances and stuff like that, to think, oh, shit, I'm not going to look my best without it. It becomes more of a mental thing where, fuck, I need it to get in shape. How could I do it without it? I was like, I'd just give it a go. That time I did a show clean. I was probably 8 pounds lighter, maybe not as shredded. I was still hard and cut, but, you know, it's like, hey, You
didn't use anything?
No. I had a bet with Jason Mathers from Muscle.
Oh, yeah.
Mag.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I got 6 or something. But you know, it's like, it's just one of those things. Yeah, it was a lot harder. The only thing I found the hardest was recovering, because I was still training twice a day, doing cardio 2 or 3 times a day. It was just a recovery, but I just kept taking more, like the old liver tablets, fucking heaps of aminos, fucking all that type of shit. So
all the natty stuff.
Yeah, but he wasn't bad. But yeah, it's a shame that he had to pull out. But I would have liked to see him just keep going with it, just to see, even maybe if he didn't compete, just stick to your diet and see how you look, and do heaps of photos and videos and shit. But because I said he looks great, I couldn't see him looking totally off. I said it must be maybe it's more of a mental thing. Once you know, okay, you can't stick to this game plan that you got set out. You think, okay, if I don't do it a certain way, it's gonna, you know.
I wonder, I don't know how I missed this.
Like the
This
Fouad
must
thing.
be it right here, yeah.
It's only like a 3-minute video, I think, 3-4 minutes.
I won't play the whole thing right here, but
yeah, it's only like 3 minutes. But he stops it at the end because you just tell he gets upset, which it would be, because you've you put all that hard work in. You want to train, you want to do it for the fans, and it's almost too. It's like, you know, if you feel like you still got something not to prove, but you still got that love to do it, you still want to go out saying, okay, look, I'm done now. Let me have one life. That's why, you know, with me, when I always think if I come back, wouldn't I? Yeah. You know, that's why I had the GoFundMe page. It stirred people up because the fans say, do it. I'm like, well, if your fans want it, donate to the stem cell, donate to the thing. People are like, Lee, why are you begging for money? I said, I'm not begging for money. You can give or you don't have to give, because for me, getting ready for a show, I could be like, yeah, all gung-ho this week, next week, yeah, whatever. But if someone said, hey, Lee, these fans gave you $50,000, I'd be like, fuck me, Dad, I can't let them down. I'd be fucking dieting my ass off, training my ass off. If I had the operation, everything come back normal, I'm like, hey, I'm doing it for you guys because you put your trust in me. You said, Lee, we want to see you. I'm going to come in the best shape for you because you've given me the money to do this. If I'm just doing it for myself, I could be like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. So
maybe you should put put a dollar amount. Like if I get this much money donated, I will make the comeback. You did?
I did. Yeah. Well, it's 100,000 Australian, which is about 69,000 American, to cover operations.
How many followers do you have?
400 and, I don't know, 50,000 or 400.
Like, they could all donate like 50 cents.
Half of them could donate $1, or even a quarter of them could donate $1.
If they all donated 50 cents, then, except all the ones that you bought, they would be, that would be $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then that Nick Trigilli got upset by it. I can't believe Lee's doing this. How disgusting, blah, blah, blah. And as I said, you don't need to donate. Nick Trigilli's like, I can get your stem cell done for $3,500. The cheapest I've heard is about $30,000. And you got to remember, when I was in America,
why would you go for the cheap? Like, why would you cheap out on stem cells?
The Costco version, $3,500.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. I told him, I said, is that what you got? I said, are they the people that did your drug cycle for your competitive career? I'm like, you know what? I said, I don't know what failed worse, Nick Trigilli, your fucking competitive career or your fucking internal organs. It's a toss-up. Yeah, but it's like, when I was in America, they were going to do it, but it was almost like, $8,000. But then I had to be there for a month and a half because I had to do it a few times. It wasn't just, here you go, one fucking shot, be on your way. You've had fucking stem cell. You're going to be fucking good now. So this 69,000, what would have included neck operation, which if I had done here, which I had one done, which failed, was shit. So I'd probably get it done overseas because people are like, you've got medical in Australia, you can get it done for free. Yeah, I can, but I probably wouldn't get it done here. I'd go to someone a lot better in America or overseas and get it done. The stem cell, you can't do in Australia. You got to go overseas. And then the contest prep alone, being older now, I said, yes, I'd probably use growth hormone, which is expensive and all this other shit. So you got to think of contest prepping. I said, so 69 grand on top, for like 100,000. I said, that's 100,000 Australian, which is with the exchange rate, 69, 70,000 American. So I said, but none of you have to, well, why would I give to you when kids are dying of cancer? Well, as long as you're giving to the kids dying of cancer, then there's no problem. Shut up.
Yeah.
Don't just talk about it.
Are you giving to those kids? Probably not.
No. I just wanted to say that to make you feel badly. Well, I don't feel bad because I hate kids, so I don't care.
There you go.
Let them suck on their breathing tube till the oxygen runs out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a question about
if I do donate, do I get my money back if they die?
Yeah, I know, right? You probably should.
I think so.
Well, this is a question about if you get your neck fixed, will you do a competition with your daughter?
Yeah. What, like a couples or just compete? I don't know. Do they still have couples now? You could probably do an exhibition, but I don't know about. I can't remember the last time I saw a couples in a competitive contest anymore. I
don't know. I haven't.
I remember even back in the day they used to, because Tony Pearson used to do it. And there was a few guys pros that used to compete, but then they sort of done away with it.
Let's see. Joshua D 58. Lee, what was your training schedule like in your teen years from 15 to 18 that helped you gain so much muscle?
Same as it is now. Just the basics. My training hasn't changed. I just stick to the same.
Did you have a split, like chest, back, arms?
Like I said, I could have, but then it's like, even if, say, Monday was chest and I get to the gym and I'm like, I don't feel like chest, I'll do back. So I just, I just went by how I felt, instinct, and then some days I could have arm day, but then I go to do buys and tries and I get through buys and I'm like, I don't feel like doing tries now, I do hamstrings. I just never, as long as I trained each body part at least once a week in the off season, I didn't really care what order I did Lynn or what day I did Lon. Some people just get they overthink shit too much these days and try and get too scientific, and then they stick to a program for 8 weeks and go, well, this ain't working, let me change it. Then they go, no, this ain't working, let me change it. It's just consistency. You've got to realize building muscle is a lifetime thing. It takes years and years and years, but these people are so quick to go, well, I've been on this program 3 weeks, I haven't seen anything yet. I've been doing heaps of preacher curls and I still don't have a peak on my biceps. What should I do? Get better fucking genetics. You're not going to get a peak on your bicep if you don't have a fucking peak on your bicep. It's just that fucking.
There's a bunch of IAPB pros without peaks on their biceps.
Yeah, it's just some people have that nice peaky bicep. Some have the bigger, fuller, longer bicep. It's just the way it is. It's like, Lee, I want to make my lats come down lower. And what are you going to do? Fucking rip them off your rib cage and fucking sew the muscle back on? Your lats are attached where they're fucking attached. If they're attached halfway up here, they're not going to go all the way down to your waist like Franco Columbo's did. We're all got fucking insertions and you can't fucking change that. But they overthink shit. It's like the whole concept of training and dieting really is so basic. But now this bro science, is like, you know, cuz it's fucking for shizzle.
Especially now that working out is trendy and you have like 50 fucking 12-year-olds in every gym wearing Gymshark shit with their hair going like this.
Personal trainer shirt on because I've read a program. I did a 1-day online course and now I'm a personal
6-hour course. I'm a certified personal trainer.
Now I want you to come to the gym. Let's not start on the weights. I've got you a rubber band and a bouncy ball. Put one hand on the ball, put the band under your foot and do this out to the side while you're leaning on a fucking ball. In 2 weeks' time, man, you're going to be a hit at SeaWorld going, fucking dickheads. It's like you're training a fucking seal. What the hell's going on? That's the thing, though. They try and come up with all these new exercises when if you just stick to the basics, you can't go wrong. What about working the core? Well, pretty much every basic exercise I know works your fucking core if it's done correctly. So it's like, you don't need to come up with any.
Yeah, we were just training and we were doing rope pushdowns for triceps. And I was thinking to myself, I said to my training partner, I'm like, if you think about it, if you can't build great triceps with just rope pushdowns, you're probably never going to have good triceps. Like you could have just a rope pushdown in your, like if you just did rope pushdowns for triceps, you still have fucking world-class triceps.
Exactly.
They might be a couple percent not what they are now or but like you don't need, like if you just, it's just not, it's not
like people
fucking complicated.
People say to me, Lee, now I've been working my arms. How do I develop the outer head of the tricep? And I'm like, well, what do you do? Well, I do push downs. I do this. I said, look, mate, you're hitting it. If it's not growing, it's not growing. I said,
yeah.
I never specifically went, shit, I need to hit this part. I just made sure I did maybe heavy overhead dumbbell, normal push downs, the push downs or the ones where you go overhead this way even, or you can do the skull crushes or close grip bench. I said, if you're doing 3 to 4 or 5 different tricep exercises, you're hitting the outer head, you're hitting the inner head, you're hitting the whole 3 heads. If one head's not growing, well, that's just the way it is. I said, you don't need to be so specific. When people say, when I do calves, should I go toes in, toes out? I said, look, just put your fucking feet where you want to put them. It doesn't matter. Just fucking go up and down.
Yeah. And sometimes people have strong body parts that like you could just not train them at all and they're still going to be your strongest body part.
Like some people have good triceps. If they just did heavy benches all the time and heavy shoulder presses and shit, the triceps are getting worked and just naturally they have a good sized tricep without even training. But when they do train it, it does get a lot better. But yeah, just like some people just have that naturally. Well, I've seen some guys who were just like powerlifting type, and all they do is flat bench all the time. But when you see them, they've got the biggest fucking upper chest ever, bigger than guys that do fucking heaps of incline bench work. That's
yeah, and vice versa.
Exactly.
So that's I haven't read these yet, but here we go. In pre-contest mode, what was a typical day like as in protein intake, and how low were your carbs? And what was your training like, weights and cardio? Well, you've gotten that one several times.
I've done the weights and cardio. The weights never changed, always heavy cardio, 2 to 3 hours a day. Protein was about 2.2 grams per pound of body weight. And
that's a lot.
Carbs, I never went lower than 250 grams. But what gets me is that when people
you're eating over 400 grams of protein then.
Yeah. What gets me is, though, when people ask these questions, I always wonder to myself why. Because in all my years of training, I never asked any other pro this, because everyone's body's different. So
yeah, but I think they're just interested. Like when I hear because
I never understand why.
I don't know, because you might ask Tom Brady what his I don't know anything about what he does to become better at throwing the football or whatever, just because it's interesting to hear you may not, but it's interesting to hear you, like you and me, it's interesting to hear you talk about like how you ate and because you were so successful at it. Like,
but I think a lot of people do it. I think a lot of people do it though, so they can go, well, he had that much. I'm only having 1.5.
You're probably right.
I might up it to 2. It's like when they ask you what drugs did you take. It's like, why do you want to know? Because what I took ain't going to work for you. Different amounts or different drugs respond to people different. So to me, it's almost like they want to know, so they can go, I might try that. It's like,
Yeah, I guess that's probably true. Some of them are probably trying to like figure out what you did so they could do it. But if I asked you that question, like how much protein did you eat? Like I asked that to people. There could be some guy in the gym that's like training and we're just talking, and I might say like, how much protein do you eat? Just because I'm interested in the whole thing, you know. I'm not asking him because I think I'm trying to get you know what I mean?
You're asking him because you need to get a fucking life. That's right.
Yeah. I guess so.
Hello there, Dan. How much protein do you eat?
Well, that's not what I said.
Well, his name's just not
randomly
Dan.
Walk up to him.
G'day, Steve. I'm just curious. How much protein do you eat?
I said if I was talking to someone about lifting and shit, I might inquire about how they do things just because it's the topic interests me. not because I'm going to steal. I'm not going to do what they do.
But then,
I think it's going to.
But then once he goes, okay, Geoff, I have about 300 grams a day. What do you do then? Do you go, oh, wow, that's good? Or do you go, oh, wow? Do you go home and you fucking beat your meat to that because it's that exciting? You know, Steve's having 300 grams a day. Where does that information go from there once he's told you? What do you suddenly do? Do you go, oh, okay. Nice weather, isn't it? The sun's out. What's the next question?
I don't know. There wouldn't be. It would just be like, okay, cool.
You just put that. You just put that fucking.
You said you ate 400 grams.
Useless piece of information in the back of your head now that just stores space.
You said you ate 400 450s. That I will be beating off to later. But if someone said 300,
but is it like a fun game next time? Like you take your mum to the gym and she goes, "Oh, who's that?" You go, "That's Steve. 300 grams of protein, mum." So you fucking Neil over there. 250 grams of protein a day. Fucking yeah, but you wouldn't. Michael over there.
But if you went to the zoo, like we're both zoo guys. So if you went to the zoo and you were like, and there was hey
zookeeper, how much does that animal eat protein wise a day?
It would be something related. Like you might say, like, well, what do they eat? It might be an animal you're not familiar with, and you're like, well, what do they eat? They're so like to do this or that or whatever.
Bigfoot.
Like they might. You don't watch like nature shows and learn about that shit. That's fucking useless too.
I don't ask. They say when you watch a nature show. I was watching one yesterday about little creatures. It says what they eat and what they do. So I wouldn't have to go to the zoo and go, "There's a gorilla. I know what he eats." There's a fucking giraffe. What they eat carrots and shit and leaves. I know what they eat.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe.
Excuse me. I got a question. I know I'm on this petting farm. What do the cows eat? Grass. Okay, I just thought yours might have ate something different. I was just looking for a fucking something different. Just grass? What type of grass? Is it buffalo grass? You have some very big cows. I want to know why they're so big. Is it just the buffalo or is it some sort of topsoil seeded grass you're giving them?
It doesn't have to be what they're eating.
You just said what
I'm trying to make an example of something that you're interested in that you would inquire about in asking a question just because you're interested, not because you're trying to get useful information.
I wouldn't.
You know, this is just like I tried to tell you about that tattoo idea, and now I'm getting gay. What the fucking mean?
I wouldn't ask that question because I wouldn't want to be that idiot in the crowd if I did ask a question. The other 50 people, they would be like, what a stupid fucking question. What
I went to a zoo.
Fucking eat for.
I went to a zoo. We went to a zoo in Naples, Florida, and I asked the guy how much the giraffes weighed because they were fucking huge. I'm like, how much does that fucking thing weigh? I don't remember what it was, like 2,400 or something. It's something absurd, but that could be totally wrong. I don't know, but it was a lot. I was
you asked that dumb question. You don't even remember the fucking answer. At least remember it.
Remember.
You went through all the hassle.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Anyways,
is that giraffe your friend? Even though you feed him, is he your friend? If you were in a bind, would he stick his neck out for you? Huh? Just a question.
Fucking hell.
How long would a giraffe chew? How long does it take for it to go down its throat? And does it get stuck? Where's its tonsils?
How about this? I learned this from that guy. One of them, like one giraffe will piss and the other giraffe will like lick the other giraffe's piss, and they can sense the hormones and shit in their pee, and they tell things about them from basically drinking the other giraffe's pee, and they can tell where their hormones are at for mating and shit like that.
Or just you can tell what what
Don't
TV
tell me
show, what TV shows is like before. Oh, that's how humans should do it then, shouldn't we? We should just walk around the street when you go on a date, you meet on Tinder. Let's go for lunch. Oh, that was nice. You want a coffee? Sure. You want a sandwich? Sure. Okay, now let's go out the back in the alleyway. Get on your knees. Psst. Am I good mating material? Yes, you are. Come on home. Let's breed.
That'd be way easier than it is.
Oh, it would be. You've seen some of the people that breed today. They should have fucking done some sort of test.
Could have been fixed long ago.
Some people just shouldn't breed. I don't get why ones that shouldn't breed have at least 4 or 5. That's the worst thing.
Yeah, it's idiocracy. That's what it is.
Well, the ones that can't really afford it keep having them. When you know there's the pill, there's the implant, there's condoms. Okay, some of them can break, whatever, but still, when there's all these fucking things for birth control, and the ones who are maybe on welfare or drugs and shit like that can't afford to have kids have the most, I don't fucking get it.
I mean, it's probably related to the fact that they are in that position to begin with. So they're probably not exactly champion decision makers, you know? Or they're having kids because you get thousands and thousands of dollars of government help when you have a kid. So who knows?
Also, what gets me is when you read all these things too, it's like even steroids. I've got friends that have been on them for 10 years, totally abuse them, and they've got 4 kids, or they say being on crack and this and all these drugs, alcohol, lowers your sperm count. I'm like, well, that obviously ain't fucking working. Look at all these fucking druggos that are still fucking breeding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a weird one. People say testosterone is supposed to act as like a male, like birth control. But man, dudes get pregnant. Like Evan did it, Branch did it. Who else? Like a lot of guys have gotten girls pregnant on cycles and shit. It doesn't seem very like. But I wouldn't use it as a birth control.
No, I know friends here in Australia who don't compete, but they're just been on gear for over 10 years, and I mean large amounts and never come off, and 3 and 4 kids. I was like, well, out of anyone, you'd think they wouldn't have it, but fuck.
Yeah.
But you see the same too when you look at these things when they say don't have alcohol, don't do this, don't do that, and then I've seen healthy people have kids that come out like fucking mongs, like fucking that. But then I see people that drink and smoke. You see, and the ones under welfare, fucking girls pregnant, fucking smoking this and that. Then you'll finally see them a bit later, and they've got a kid. The kid's fucking normal. So go figure.
Kid's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, if you drink and smoke during pregnancy, it's going to have birth defects and shit. I'm like, the kid looks fucking more normal than them. It's like a normal kid.
Yeah.
But the healthy couple that's fucking eating, having their green shakes and having their fucking healthy fucking proton pills and shit, have the kid that comes out with a fucking third eye and a fucking missing arm. You're like, Jesus, whatever you did in the previous life, God hates you. It's fucking punishing you.
You were a prick in your previous life.
Yeah.
Geoff Hill, 9282. What are some good forearm exercises? As if Lee ever had to train those things.
I never did. I only ever trained them for videos and magazine articles. Every year I did tell myself, you know what, Lee, you should train them just to see how big they would get. But then I'd start and I'm like, nah, fuck it, too boring.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah. But I reckon some of the best forearm exercises are just fucking hanging on. Don't use straps unless you really, really have to.
Yeah. That's huge, too. I remember I had a grip issue a while back, and it was when I was like doing strictly bodybuilding training. So every back day I would use straps because that's what you did. You weren't working it wasn't for power. And then I transitioned back into powerlifting after years of using straps, and my grip was shot. And I stopped using straps on all my rowing movements and stuff, and it was like a month my grip was back.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever just even like someone that doesn't really train, but say someone that's a mechanic or into that field where they're using their hands, a boiler maker or something, where they're fucking just doing shit, working on tools all day? You ever felt the grip on some of those people just because they're twisting and using their fucking hands all the time?
My dad was like that. My dad is like that. My dad has
some of them now are getting weaker because we've all got power tools. There's none of this fucking screwing anymore where you had to fucking screw with your fucking arms and your forearms. I still use one of those now. My friends are like, why don't you buy an electric screwdriver? I'm like, no, I prefer to do this. I feel like I'm doing forearms. And after 20 turns, you're like, ooh, getting a pump. Let me go back, change hands.
Yeah. I literally had a mounted – we just moved, obviously. So we had a mounted – I had a TV that was mounted, and I had to unscrew it. And I remember my buddy Dom was helping me, and I was like, dude, my fucking forearm is going to explode. It's so pumped. Yeah, it's true.
Go back to the basics, people. Just find an old tree in the backyard and stand there all day screwing screws into the tree and undoing them.
There you go.
There's your forearm. Or remember the old drills where you'd put the drill bit in the end of that thing and you'd hold it like this and go like this? Look, you're not even looking. I'm showing you. You'd have to drill like this. Remember those ones? You haven't seen them?
Like for what?
Just the drill. You put a drill bit in it, but it had like a handle on the end and this round bit like a cog. You put the drill in the end, but that's how you drill it. As you turn the wheel, the drill would...
God.
You don't remember that?
You'd have to turn that like a bastard.
Yeah. Oh, I've got one. Because at this place here, I got an old shed out the back. I found this old tool, the power drill one. It's a bigger one. And where it's got the handle, it hasn't got the handle. It's actually got this pole that comes off the end with a shoulder thing that sits on your shoulder. So you put your shoulder into it and fucking turn it.
What the fuck?
Like a gun. Remember before people got lazy with the electric beaters? Your grandmother used to have the fucking beater. You'd mix stuff up.
Yeah.
Leg beater.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to do that in school once. I had to whip cream by hand.
Oh, yeah.
I had a protein shake today, and I thought of you after my workout. I had to go to work for a meeting, and I wasn't going to be able to eat for like 2 hours, so I literally filled the shaker like this much. Whoa!
There it goes.
As full as this shaker is, nothing but cream, full fat cream, and then 2 scoops of chocolate protein. It was so fucking good.
Would have been like a nice chocolate mousse, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. It wasn't a lot of cream. Like it had to have been 500 calories just in cream, but it was delicious.
Oh, well, thank God you told us how much, because next time you put questions up, Geoff, how much protein and fat do you think was in that cream protein drink you had?
A lot.
No, they're going to
I don't think that's going to happen.
People want to know.
Because of you, when if I do have cereal, I always put like half and half or cream in it, because you gave me that idea. It's so good. Half and half on Cocoa Pops or anything. Oh, it's so good. It's ridiculous.
Cold, nice cold half and half. Oh, you can't beat it.
It's ridiculous.
It's
a whole different experience.
You put half and half on your Lucky Charms or Fruit Loops or Captain Crunch with the berries. Oh.
Yeah. Unreal.
It's all healthy because it's all made on, wholemeal cereal, and like it's got berries, so it's blueberries. It's healthy.
Yeah, it's healthy, all right.
Fruity Pebbles, that's all.
What is this guy fucking... Yeah, you were talking to this guy about... He says, I see that you're promoting mental hamster products. Any idea if there's any plans for their products to be stocked in Australia somewhere? It'd be tempting to give some of their supplements a try if it was. I won't, though, if I have to have it shipped from the UK. That's pretty inconvenient.
Yeah.
2, about your comeback and GoFundMe, which, yes, I have donated, he says. My question is, what do you want? Do you yourself currently want to make a comeback, or do you only be doing it because other people would like you to? Oh, he's basically saying, do you want to make a comeback? Like, obviously you do, yeah. Right?
Yeah, but have other people fund it. Why should I pay for it?
Yeah.
It's like running for the presidential race. Donald Trump doesn't use his money, does he? He uses the funding.
Yeah, yeah.
And what was my answer to him?
With you, I think what? Go ahead.
Didn't I answer him? Didn't I say don't buy from over?
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like with you, you could just get in shape, and people would go. If you just got in shape and posted pictures, like if you got to like 3 or 4 weeks out condition, and you were like training to like compete, and you just people would lose their minds. I think just from that. I don't even know if you'd have to compete. Like you were saying about Fouad, he could just get as close as he can, and people would love it, And I think it's the same with you, because people haven't
I could do that aura thing where get the operation, get the size back, and then just diet down and don't compete. People go, imagine if he competed, he would beat this guy, beat that.
Like I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Start that aura thing going. Look how fucking good. Because everyone by yourself at home gym looks fantastic. You get the right angles and the right lighting.
Yeah. Thank God for me.
See that latest picture of Lee Priest? Fuck, if he had done that 212, top 3 easy. Knowing I mightn't have made top 6 if I was really there, but going by the picture, easy top 2. Yeah.
Body by Johnny Law. If you could go back and do it all over again, what would you do differently? I guess bodybuilding career specific.
What would I do different? Nothing. Excuse me. The only thing, like I said before, I'd do different probably be the off season, where I was very relaxed. Like I said, some off seasons I might only eat once a day, twice a day. Maybe I might have been more regimented in the off season, but sometimes I'd eat a lot And then some days I just like, I can't be bothered. I'll just be out doing stuff. Like if I went to Disneyland for the day, I might have breakfast before I left home, get to Disneyland and have a fucking corn dog and a bit of fairy floss and just very random stuff. Just be like,
what is fairy floss?
Well, that's like cotton candy.
Oh, okay. I figured, but that's a way better name for it. Fairy floss.
Fairy floss. Well, we might not be able to say that. It could upset the fairies. So who knows?
Yeah, there's plenty of those. What would you do? So let's say right now let's say you just went back to then. What would you do, knowing what you know now? What would you do in those off seasons that you weren't doing? Like, would you have scheduled meals and stuff, or would you stay leaner?
I wouldn't stay leaner, but I'd probably just schedule my meals more and actually, because like I said, out of a whole 7 days in the off season, maybe 2 of those days I might have actually ate 5 or 6 meals a day. The rest would be 2 meals, 3 at most. Some days 1 meal because I'm out doing stuff. I might still have a protein drink or something, but as far as I might have breakfast and nothing again to dinner time, so I was just very relaxed. Hello.
Who's that?
The missus.
The missus.
Asking me do I want food brought in. No, but I'd love a beverage. I'm a bit parched. Whatever drink you can find me. Something healthy so it looks good while I'm on camera.
Did you take any estrogens at all? Like, did you take a Remodex or Femera or anything like that? We're getting ready for shows.
I used to take Nolvadex, which is, I think, similar to a Remodex, but I always remember Remodex was more expensive, so Nolvadex was always cheaper. Yeah.
But that's the only one you would do, huh?
Yeah, that's the only one I ever did, Nolvadex. I think I did a Remodex once or twice, but like I said, just due to the price of it, I just stuck to the Nolvadex. I think they were like 20 milligram tablets or something.
Right. Kevin Blewett, he's back.
Kevin
Blewett, nice to have you back, buddy. Simple one this time, he says. A few times you've mentioned about your love of films. With the recent James Bond film coming out next month, what ultimate film role would you like to require to work, either being a hero or acquire? I don't know. What ultimate film role would you like to require to work, either being a hero or ultimate villain?
I think villain, but the villain that, the villains that you really like and you get behind because they're just such a badass villain that you like him. Like, pick Heath Ledger as the Joker.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
That type of villain where he's just so psychotic, or he's just so bad, or he does shit you're like, oh my God, thank you. Diet right. Thank you. Look at that nice fizzy diet right.
Oh, that looks really good. Is citrus soda?
Yeah. I think it's passion fruit flavor with ice and fizzy.
My mouth
zero calories.
There you go.
Yeah, something like that where, because you have bad guys in movies where you just don't feel for them, but there's so many movies too where you have a bad guy, you're like, man, he's just a fucking cool-ass bad guy because he's either so psychotic, or when he kills people, he does it in such a way you fucking laugh because it's just so off the wall. It's just like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. And you'd like to see him. You'd like to see him win because they're just so bad.
Yeah. So remember Jean-Claude Van Damme in The Expendables, the second one? Mm-hmm. That was a cool bad guy. Well, that was the best That's the best Jean-Claude Van Damme role I've ever seen, I think.
Well, I feel like the Expendables, the last was the one with Mel Gibson playing the bad guy. Even.
Oh yeah, I mean Mel Gibson, you can't go wrong.
Okay. Yeah, he was good. So there's just some movies like that where you see the bad guy where, well, even if you go back to even something that's cool as like going back to the early days, Darth Vader, even though he's a bad guy, every time Darth Vader walked onto the screen, he stole the scenes because he's just such a badass. And
yeah. But yeah, that's a really good example. Darth Vader, like the music and the look and the voice, like Darth Vader was a
just like Darth Vader. I think just like a presence about him where you're just like, wow.
It was a very, very cool.
Because like I said, you could have the scene, even like I said, you could have Luke Skywalker, the hero, and this and that. But as soon as they start playing the Imperial March and he comes walking in with the breathing, it's just like, wow. It's just like,
Yeah, it's true. They did that so well. I'm not even a Star Wars fan, but Darth Vader is badass.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of good movies with villains in like that where, I think it'd be good to play a villain. But then too, like the villain, like those villains too, where some of them could be overdone. But what movie was it where there was a villain in and he was like, why won't you just fucking die? It's like the villain was that badass. He kept trying to kill him and they'd get into a fight scene. He'd think, oh, he's fucking dead. And up he gets again. He's like, oh, fuck. It was just like, towards the end, you just had to fucking keep blasting him with a shotgun to think, okay, he's fucking dead now. It's like even some of those Terminator movies where the T2 was such a badass villain just kept coming back and shit. But yeah. And I think a villain would be a good role.
Yeah,
it was almost true. Like even he was almost a good guy, but also a bad guy. Remember the movie Swordfish with John Travolta? Well, if you watch that one, it'd probably be better than Back to the Future. Watch Swordfish. It's got Hugh Jackman and Holly Berry. They made a big thing because Holly Berry showed her boobies in it for the first time in a movie.
Does she have her short hair?
Yeah, sort of, yeah. That movie, it's done by, I think it was John Woo and that, so it's got great effects in it, good action. But in that is sort of, I think. But even if you go back to, one was a bad, one was good, something like Face Off with Nicolas Cage, and John Travolta, where one was when Nicolas Cage played the psychotic, he swapped faces and stuff, and he was pretending he was John Travolta, but he was all woo, he's just like out there.
What about Venom? Venom is a bad guy, right?
He's good, but bad. It's almost like Spawn.
Okay.
They're meant to be bad, but you're on that edge. Anything like that, even where you can have heroes where even like the Punisher, he's a hero, but yet he's borderline psychotic, or he breaks the law to get shit done, but almost like a vigilante type thing. So he's almost bordering on good and bad. He wouldn't purposely hurt the innocent, but when he goes out to get someone bad, he doesn't really follow the fucking rules. He just
or Dexter.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's just like something where you're like, okay, you shouldn't really be rooting for him because he's a fucking serial killer. But if a serial killer's out killing bad people and doing shit like that and other stuff, you're like, I don't really see too much bad in it.
Yeah. All right, Lee, it's getting late. It's almost 10 o'clock p.m. here.
Exactly. We would have had you going on another tirade again.
I know. You can pump the brakes here. But, good show. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. It's been a big break.
There's my flag again.
That's sick. That's awesome. It's been a little while. We're back on. Look at that.
That's my forearm. That's a peak on my forearm.
I could see the peak on your forearm on the other side when you're talking.
Look at this one. Oh, look at that. What's that, Geoff? That's a comeback?
Damn.
Holy shit.
What the fuck? Is it wheatgrass? Wheatgrass? Is that the secret?
Look at that. What's that thing?
Let's see it from the other side.
The other side is
hard over.
To turn.
Like this. Like the front of you.
I got to turn the camera now. Hold on. I got to get right for this. Hold on. I'll come in.
This is Lee barely training. What the fuck? Down a little bit. Dude.
Oh. Look at that.
That bicep is still.
How long's the Olympia?
That arm, dude.
Oh, it hurt the shoulder.
I know. I bet it did. Whew. That's nasty.
Let's look at that. There we go. Back to me. Look at that. Woo.
Yeah. I would have you show us your quad, but it's probably a jungle down there.
It is actually very hairy.
Yeah.
It's whenever I didn't compete, I never shaved. That's why I always wondered when guys always shave all the time. I'm like, come on, guys, stop. You don't need to. If you're not competing, let the hair grow. As you can see, it's on my arms and shit.
It's pretty common now too. I see guys with like shaved arms and stuff who don't look like anything. Yeah, fuck that.
But, too much of a hassle.
Yeah, not for me.
Exactly.
But all right, Lee. Like I said, like, share, and subscribe. Show everybody, comment. Let us know what you think.
And it's like when you post about the show and you say it's on here in Spotify, people go, "When can I watch the show?"
You can search Renegade Muscle on any source of internet in the world, and you'll find it. There you go.
Oh, but when you post it, you say Spotify or YouTube, and that
Yeah.
they go, where can I watch this?
Yeah. I know. It's all the lights are out. There they go. Perfect.
I've turned them off.
That's it. All right. Great show. Great show, man. See you later, everybody.
Bye-bye.